Time to get real, reality TV aficionados. Welcome to the Georgio Says podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Georgio Takanakis, and I'm here serving you the juiciest updates on all your favorite reality shows weekly, as well as the hottest pop culture trends, and even exclusive interviews that will leave you wanting more. This podcast will keep you on the edge of your seat. We definitely need to talk about this. The Georgio Says podcast starts now. All right, you guys, welcome to another episode of Georgio Says the podcast. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. It was raining here where I am the entire time, which was fine because it was a good excuse to stay in and kind of stay cozy and do all that stuff that you don't want to do when it's nice outside because you feel obligated to take advantage. Nonetheless, that didn't stop news from rolling as usual. Now, usually on Mondays, I would give you guys the full recap for the rhonj episode. However, based on this past episode, I feel like it's not worth giving a full recap because there was one situation that occurred the entire time that I felt was beaten to death by the end of the episode. And so, in my opinion, this was a filler episode. It was not necessary to move any type of storyline forward. But in other news, over the weekend, we did get a report originally all about the Real Housewives, covered a story regarding a physical altercation that took place at Teresa Giudice's event that she had at her home. And it was a Tulum-themed event. And I guess stuff went down between Aydin and Danielle Cabral, and things got physical, and reports are saying that blood was drawn and that now production has stalled. And you know what, guys? This comes at a really interesting point in this whole reality reckoning, if you will, because NBC just put out some new guidelines where they're trying to show that they're taking this, conversation seriously, which that's a good thing. Some of the things on the list, now I won't go through the whole list with you guys, but some of the stuff on there I feel is like a little bit like one person ruined it for everyone kind of thing. I think there's a little bit too much responsibility put on production, the network, in regards to what some of these cast members do on even their personal time, which is odd because any other employer is not responsible for necessarily what their employees do outside of work. I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying for them, like, no one's checking if Gary in IT has had one too many drinks at his local dive bar. That's all I'm saying. So I think some of the things, although I understand based on the conversation why they would do this, like I said, it feels like one person ruined it for all. Some of the other things I think are perfectly acceptable and I think are good resources to add, such as the one about having a psychologist on the set of Reunion Day filmings. Okay, yeah, perfect, great. But this whole New Jersey thing is stalled production because now they're investigating, which, look, I said this in my TikTok earlier, I wouldn't really even be surprised if with everything that's coming, to action in terms of what NBC is now put into place in terms of guidelines and things like that, if they wouldn't use New Jersey in this specific situation as an example. And look, I don't know. Is someone going to get demoted? Is someone going to get fired over this? Your guess is as good as mine. Do I think it would be like absolutely absurd if this whole thing is true, that no consequences are taken? Like, I don't really grasp exactly what happened or what exactly was said. There's a lot of different things being thrown out there, which is just speculation and people just adding to the story. But like, there have been a couple things that a couple people are saying that it wasn't. So apparently there was an issue between Jen and Danielle. Now, what I have heard is that whatever the issue was that got them into this spat was really petty. Like something really, 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 really stupid is what I'm hearing. And shout out to my people in New Jersey, my feet on the ground out there, for trying to get me as much tea as possible. But nonetheless, it seems that, I guess, at Teresa's party, it gets brought up and something is said, and then Jennifer allegedly shoves or pushes Danielle and then says something about Danielle that triggers Danielle, because I guess from what the reports say is that it made Danielle think that, oh, this is going to make me look bad and this is going to be on national TV. They're definitely going to use this in the edit. So it triggered her, and then she reacted and I guess threw her drink, and the drink, I guess, struck Jennifer and then drew blood. Now, the report, I think, said it was a glass or an actual cocktail glass, which sounds really horrible, right? And obviously would draw blood. But then some people were DMing me, and then I heard a couple other people talking about that it was actually it wasn't glass. It was like that hard, like acrylic type plastic glass cup looking thing that you see at parties sometimes when they don't want to use glass for obvious reasons, because people get drunk and crazy. But so it was one of those. Now, it's not to say that those, when they break or snap, that you can't draw blood with those, because those are really sharp as well when they break. So nonetheless, she was injured enough that it was reported that Danielle was escorted, out of the party, and now everything's pretty much on pause. I feel like this is just not it for me. I don't watch Housewives because, and a lot of you don't either, because I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of you one-on-one regarding this specific topic about where's the line anymore in terms of what we're seeing and what people think is going to garner them the camera time or I don't know. To me, I get immediately turned off once it becomes physical. To me, I don't care what ratings it gets. I don't care how many people tune in to watch it over and over again. I'm speaking for myself. This is why I don't watch, I never watched or got into Bad Girls Club, because it was clear that the premise of that show was for the women to eventually get physical. And that was what the show was pretty much about. And even with Basketball Wives, I watched that, but then it got too intense with the physical stuff, and then I stopped watching, as did a lot of people, and then they tried to soften it, and that didn't work because initially the show wasn't about that. So it's just now I'm like, well, are we upping the ante now? We can't just leave it at we got in each other's faces. You know what I mean? Puffed our chests. We can't leave it there. We have to actually now take it a step further and put our hands on each other. I get there's cameras. I get they're in a bubble. I've heard all those theories. It doesn't matter. You're still your own human being. You're still in charge of yourself. The minute you put your hands on someone, the whole point gets lost, because now no one's focused on whatever the issue was, which I'm hearing was super petty. So I can't wait to see what it actually is all about. But I don't know, you guys. The whole thing is just icky. It's the getting physical in a fight on camera for whatever, and getting sexy or doing sexy time with whoever on camera, to me, is cringe. I don't need to see that aspect of your life. We get just we don't have to see you going to the bathroom. We know you're going to the bathroom. I don't need to see you having sexy time. It's cringe. To me, it doesn't register across the TV authentically, because I know that there's nothing authentic about any of that. There's crew members in your house, there's lighting, there's all this stuff. So it's it's not what you would probably really do in real life. So don't do it for the cameras, as well as don't fight physically, because this now is going to possibly cost one of them, if not both, some really harsh consequences. Listen, I'm saying this isn't gonna bode well. And I'm gonna say this. Danielle's only been on for one season. And between the chatter and the things that people are saying that she acts like behind the scenes or whatever have you, I don't really care. I'm slowly starting to become turned off by her, and she hasn't even like made it to season 2 on TV yet. Like already it's like, because I forget that she's done all these things to try to be famous, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't work. It's like she's on the wrong show. If this is what antics she's trying to pull, wrong show. Because like, this is not what I want to see. I don't want to see housewives putting their hands on each other. And actually, I'm confused because I thought there was like, when we go back to the Kenya Portia situation, that was rectified pretty quickly. They made a decision real fast on that one. Made statements, said, oh, we take this stuff seriously. You don't put your hands on other cast members. But here we are. We've seen it we've seen it a lot since then, and it doesn't seem like anything. There is no consequences. I mean, there is maybe sometimes like a slap on the wrist, but like, I'm just saying. So whatever they do with this, which they will, they'll most likely make New Jersey an example, because they'll want to show like, no, we don't let stuff like this go on and let people feel like they're in harm's way. So they're definitely gonna put the pedal to the metal on this one. But it should say a lot that we're, again, this year at BravoCon, not going to get a New Jersey panel because of the fact that the cast is super divided. I mean, you can see it online. You can see this group and this group. It's clear as day. It's super defined. It's like, you're going to, like, what are we going to watch? 2 different shows next season? Between, like, it's just too much. Like, we got to figure this out. I don't know how they're going to, I don't know I'm baffled. I'm just baffled that this is what this is the content we're getting. I don't know. Anyways. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. I've got my feelers out there. I would like to understand at least what prompted the fight. And we know more than likely that some sort of physical altercation happened. We obviously, know that something happened, but I would love to know what prompted this whole thing, because not that would matter in the scheme of like the reaction. It's just people, I'm hearing it's a really petty situation. So that would make me think like, okay, so why are we reacting so strongly? And what is it that Jen said about Danielle? That's the other thing I'm trying to find out. What did she say? I'm checking my phone because I'm trying to see if someone's gotten back to me. I just want to know, like, what is it that Jennifer could have said that would have made her feel like, oh crap, I got to make sure, like, I don't know, I got to do something bigger to overlook what she just said. I mean, what could it have been? There's a couple rumors going out around Danielle and her relationship with her brother. I haven't dug into it, quite honestly, but I don't know, maybe I have to now. Seems like this is going to be talked about for a while, and this will probably be a big pivotal part of the season, I would imagine, depending on how they deal with it, which we don't know because it's still being investigated, as the reports say. But I don't know. Well, guys, I'm going to give you guys a quick recap when we come back from a little break on last night's episode of rhonj. Like I said, it wasn't really an episode we needed, to be honest, but I'm going to run through the highlights, which should be very quick because it was just one main thing going on the entire time. But we'll be right back. Golly Nutrition is an inventive, people-focused nutrition company committed to providing innovative products that make taking your daily supplements simple and delicious. Their products are formulated with quality ingredients you can pronounce and flavors your taste buds will absolutely enjoy. And at the core of it all, they lead with purpose. Golly for Good is an initiative committed to playing a profound role in supporting the health of our planet as well as our local communities. Learn more about their initiatives, such as B Corp certification, Vitamin Angels partnership, and Eden reforestation projects at their Golly for Good page. And if you use my special code, the Georgio says at checkout, you will receive a special discount. Now let's get back into the episode. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you for tuning back in. Thanks for sticking around. Obviously, today's episode's not going to be super long because the rhonj episode was not, in my opinion, worth using because we could have done without the episode because it was clearly just a filler episode. There was not anything going on. So, which baffles me because I feel like we're hanging on to one or two things on here now. And I've been very graceful with the cast. I've overlooked a lot of the produced moments because I really want this show to work because I do see a lot of potential in a lot of the cast members. The last night's episode, I don't know. It's like we're grasping for straws. I mean, there was a little bit of something where you're seeing like the character and maybe let's say like Erin, like, okay, she's definitely like, she's a big shit talker. She's definitely messy. You know what I'm saying? We got that, but we got that like 2-3 episodes ago. Like, I just feel like they're really dragging out these very minute fights. Like, for instance, for some odd reason, the whole Ubah and like sunglass thing that has taken over this last episode, which by the way, Ubah says there was a lot more to that buildup in her reaction, not to justify her behavior. But what I'm just letting you guys know, apparently at the reunion, hopefully we get to see that there was some context or there was more that happened, she said, that they didn't show. So gotta love editing. But yeah, so it seems like this issue between Ubah and Erin, who are friends in real life, like they're friends. They came into this as real friends. So the issue is not that I don't believe that Erin is upset that Ubah reacted that way towards her or whatever have you. But what I do think is going on is that perhaps maybe Ubah feels like maybe people are trying to make her look bad, or she's fearful that she might get thrown into something and not understand. So I've noticed with her that she's got her antennas up at all times. And so much so that in this last episode, they flash back to a scene that we did not get for whatever reason, where I guess Jenna had invited the ladies over. And this is when Jenna is basically saying this was like one of the first times I saw when Ubah kind of went from being like nice to like hot, like, you saw the shift in her attitude or whatnot. And it was basically because I guess Ubah felt like she was being duped by being invited over to Jenna's apartment and not knowing that there was cameras there filming. And so she wasn't as prepared. And so they show us a clip where Ubah is like basically letting Jenna know, like, don't ever do that again. Like, I did not know cameras were going to be here. And you guys did know. And I like basically like, don't do that ever again. And listen, one thing I will say about this last episode that I got out of it was, do I agree with the way that Ubah handled herself in regards to getting in Erin's face and snatching her sunglasses off? No, absolutely not. Of course not. However, on the flip side of that, there's got to be a moment where you feel like you've got to set the tone for how people can treat you. And she didn't go about it in the best manner, but I think she got the point across. Like, I really genuinely think that Erin and the other ladies involved understand clear as day that they are not going to try to pull some type of crap on Ubah because she doesn't care if you're her friend. She doesn't care if you're her foe. She's going to treat you the same way if you try to mess with her. And I respect that. Like, I wish I was a little bit more like that. I'm not saying about like the antics about ripping the sunglasses off and stuff. I'm saying more about like just being up, like, it doesn't matter. Like, hold people accountable in whatever situation. And if you feel the way you're feeling, then feel that way. Like, it took Ubah a long time for her and Erin to get like past this, like what I feel to be a super petty situation initially, like the whole iPhone, the prank thing turning into this whole debacle that is literally taken over like 2 episodes between the prank happening and then this resolution happening, and nothing in between. There was nothing else going on with the other ladies. However, it's clear that in this episode, Jessel is the one that's keeping track of things, because she let out that she has a list on Erin, and she's like goes through. So when you piss her off like twice, you go into the phone and you become a list. So I don't know if that's weird or if that's calculated or what you guys take away from that. I take that as like she needs to remind herself how many times maybe this person has screwed with her so that she can go back and check them. I don't know. Jessel's a very interesting character. She's an open like sponge of like surprises. Like I just feel like every episode I'm getting a different layer of her, which I enjoy. But what I thought was funny was in this episode, she was being overlooked a lot. And I laughed because I even said this in my TikTok recap. There's moments when I'm like recapping the show, and I always 9 times out of 10, at least the first few times, forgot to put Jessel in, had to go back and put Jessel in like the hashtags, you know, when you hashtag each individual housewife for the show. I completely like blanked on Jessel, like that she was even on the show for the first, quite a number. I would go back, I would have to say. Now I don't. Now I am fully aware that she's on there, but I thought it was funny that that was something that got brought up, because there was like, where they were all getting the rum punches and whatever, or the shots at that little rum bar, the Elvis Beach bar place that they were at. And the bartender totally skipped right over Jessel, like she wasn't even there. And it was just so funny because it's like, she does get overlooked a lot. But yeah, the episode wasn't great, in my opinion. I didn't find it to be entertaining in the sense of like, there wasn't anything to take away from it. There was a little bit of a, we're now going back and recycling some of our stories from childhood. And then there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, quite honestly, I don't know also if Jenna Lyons is the right person for this type of format, because I don't think she's really going to be able to get in the thick of things. And I think I'm speculating because I think this is a little odd, but like she's not really doing any appearances. Like she's not going to be at BravoCon. So that's a little why. I don't know. Like initially I like the thought of Jenna Lyons because it's like, okay, great. But she's not clearly into the point of what the show is really supposed to be about, is the conflict resolution. She's very uncomfortable in this group already. She's not used to being in a group of girls, specifically a group of girls that have to like argue and be petty and get to know each other all in the same breath. But then on the flip side, she's Jenna Lyons. So it's like, I'm sure there's a balance for her as well. Like she's not going to get into the thick of it because she's Jenna Lyons, but because she's Jenna Lyons, she's not going to be able, like, I don't know. I don't see I don't grasp, other than the free marketing, why she would do this type of show if she's not comfortable in these conflict resolution situations. Because I will say, even though like they all came at her, she took it well, but I wish she would have bit back a little bit or held them to the fire afterwards and just confronted that a little bit more. But you know what? I don't know. She's never done this type of format of reality TV. And I'm clarifying myself because I understand she's done other reality TV. So, but not this type of format. So I don't know. Is this her way of distancing herself slowly but surely? Who knows? Who knows? I'm not even sure how many more episodes we have left. I can't imagine there's that many more. They just filmed the reunion, so I'm sure we have a few more left. So, I mean, listen, I'm excited to see what the first reunion will be with these ladies and see where it goes from here. But what I will say is for season 2, like, let's really dig in, because these little petty fights are like funny. Like, here and there to like fill the gaps in, but like we need more meat and potatoes. We need more than surface level entertainment and pettiness. So I'm hopeful that this was a great learning experience. I've enjoyed the season so far. I enjoy the ladies for the most part. There's a little confusion on some of the ladies here and there, but like overall, I think there's a lot of potential here. So I don't think that there's like a let's throw this in the garbage situation. I just think that there's maybe less producing, more like get in there. So we, you know, to me, I'm writing this off as a honeymoon pilot season, and that's fine because again, it's a reboot in my mind. That makes sense. We've got a transition. So this season, I'm not expecting it to be like over the top. Wow, you know, I'm like, but next season it needs to like start to pick up the momentum. So we'll see what happens with them. But also there's been some like talks that Jenna might be engaged, or I don't know. There was a picture with her and someone, and she's got this beautiful big rock on. So was she just playing and wearing fun jewelry, perhaps? Or maybe she's letting us all know something. I don't know. She's a mystery, that Jenna Lyons. I that's why there's a fascination to have her on reality TV. So from that standpoint, I understand. I just get confused in the situations where she's like in the group settings and there's conflict and she like, you know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe she really is just booked and busy during BravoCon, can't be there. Maybe she just can't really make the episodes that Andy asks her to come do Watch What Happens. I'm not sure. I know she did it once, so it's not like she's not doing it at all, but she hasn't done it since. It doesn't seem to be on the lineup to do any. Maybe she's coming for the reunion. Like when they air the reunion, maybe she'll come for that. I don't know. We'll see. But you know what, guys? All I will say is that shout out to... So if you guys remember, I told you maybe a couple weeks back, I signed a deal with Taylor, which is a men's subscription rental clothing situation. Really fantastic. AI kind of powers the whole thing with, you know, picking out the different things. You take a quiz. So I finally got my first shipment. So I get 10 pieces a month, which is great. And you get to return the clothes, you know, and then you get your next round and it just keeps going. And then when you like something, like you want to actually like keep it, then you can purchase it at up to 70% off the retail price. So this shirt was one of the shirts that came in my first shipment, and it's by All Saints, and I love it. Like, it feels amazing. And yeah, so shout out to Taylor. And if you guys want to get 1 month of your Taylor subscription for free, you can do so by using my special code Georgio Says. I'm going to have an actual ad for the podcast going forward, but if you guys want to actually give them a try, they're amazing. You can just, you know, sign up with my code Georgio Says and get your first month for free and check them out. They have over 200 brands that they work with, which is amazing for a men's only type of styling rental clothing subscription service. So yeah, so that's all I got for you guys today on a Monday. It's pretty quiet other than the noise in New Jersey, but you know what? I will leave it there because I'm sure we're going to get a lot more updates. The week is new. It's fresh. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of updates on a lot of things this week. I can just feel it. You know, when you feel like it's going to be a week of updates, like there's going to be a lot of things coming out left and right, I feel like this is one of the weeks. So, but before I leave you guys, quickly want to remind you guys, if you're not following me on TikTok, please follow me. I go there first for all my recaps, all my Bravo celebrity news. So you don't want to miss out on any of that stuff. So go head on over to TikTok at Georgio Says. Also follow me on Instagram at Georgio Says, because if you're not a TikToker, I still post all that stuff on Instagram. It's just not first, it's second. And I post about my personal life a little bit more on there, so it's a little bit more lax. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you still have time to subscribe. You can do it. I believe in you. But don't forget to hit the notification bell because that lets you know when I upload a new episode. And what else do I have for you? Thanks for listening. Wherever you're listening, thank you, thank you. If you feel obliged, you can leave me a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it, and so would my podcast. Oh, and if you're watching, hello, you can watch my Spotify. Oh, you can watch my Spotify. You can watch my podcast on Spotify or on my YouTube channel. And I think that's it. I don't want to bore you guys. We're just going to leave it there, okay? But until tomorrow, guys, I will talk to you guys on the next episode. Bye.